That's right. Yeah. So
before we do that,
all right. Can everybody hear me okay? Perfect. I think online. All right, cool.
in the microphone here. Hola a todos, soy Leo Callejas, soy uno de los miembros de la mesa directiva de la Cámara y voy a apoyar a nuestro panel de hoy con la traducción. Anthony es del Condado Solano, es el director del Departamento de Servicios General, que nos va a estar apoyando con la información acerca de ADA's compliance.
Okay. Do we typically do intros or should we just jump in?
I think it'll be helpful for people to know who everyone is.
Okay.
We're chamber first, networking first.
Yeah.
Brevemente vamos a comenzar con introducciones, por favor. Vamos a ir alrededor, si podrían mantenerlo breve. Su nombre, si son miembros de la Cámara, su negocio. Si tienen negocio, ¿cuál es su negocio? Comencemos con... ¿Ya te presentaste, Gabriel?
No.
Okay, presenta.
So my name is Gabriel Gamajo. I'm the CIO of Idea Factory. It's an AI agency and IT consulting here in Vacaville. We are here to provide today a walkthrough to the EDI compliance and inclusivity in design.
And just to repeat, I didn't repeat in English. If you can please keep it brief to your name, you're a member of the chamber. If you have a business, what's the name of the business? What do you do? Now?
Salvador Rodriguez with Construction Concierge, general contractor, and yeah.
Jeff Ingram, I'm a leadership. I'm a Benicia Chamber member, and what I do is I give people access to legal services and information.
Okay, I already introduced myself, so thank you.
Mi
nombre es Carolina Ramos. Yo soy reciente miembro de aquí de la Cámara de Comercio. Bueno, el negocio que nosotros, el que tengo son, certificamos Life Coach para estamos en un centro de desarrollo y conocimiento humano. Y bueno, ese es nuestro negocio.
¿Y el nombre era?
Es CD School. Bueno, nosotros como compañía tenemos la franquicia de la escuela CD School.
Okay, so franchise coaching, CD School, and they do life coaching for entrepreneurs. Tina?
I'm Tina Fowler with Free Bridges Consulting. I'm the vice chair for Benicia for the chamber. Yeah, I support small businesses with the stuff they don't want to do, don't know how to do, or don't have time.
Ahora español, Tina. Tina Fowler es nuestra vicepresidenta de la Cámara, representando Benicia Vallejo. También tiene su negocio de consultoría, Three Bridges Consulting.
Stephen Hall, architect, not a member of the chamber, commercial architect and CASP, accessibility.
Okay.
I invited him because his expertise. He just helped me with a client who got sued in an ADA compliance websuit and came in at the website. lawsuit. And so he helped us figure out what we needed to fix. And so I thought it would be good to have his expertise.
Steve es arquitecto y nos viene a apoyar a aprender porque él ha pasado por algunos casos ayudando y hace arquitectura residencial comercial.
And we partner with an agency business, so we're trying to find visibility to small businesses here in the area. And we also support like recent numbers on the.
You can say it Spanish.
Mi nombre es Romeli Santana. Ella es mi socia, Elena García. Nosotros tenemos una empresa de marketing digital para pequeñas empresas y nos enfocamos más que todo en el área de aquí de Solano y Napa County. So, apoyamos todo lo que es el área de todo lo que es el marketing de los pequeños negocios que están comenzando.
Okay. Awesome.
Gracias.
All right. Thank you. So today we're going to do ADA compliance, just a discussion. I know that we talked a little bit about physical barriers. My goal is to take you guys through, hold on 1 second. Ooh. So we did introductions. Time to translate or
Brevemente, Anthony nos va a hablar acerca de cumplimiento de accesibilidad para discapacidad y nos va a dar la meta de hoy, the goal today is.
So the goal is to go over some of the county data. I want to give you guys a broad perspective, population data, population mapping, and then some resources from the state. I did also want to.
La meta de Anthony va a ser compartirnos datos que tiene el condado acerca de qué información tiene el condado de personas que tienen con discapacidad, que se ha reportado en el condado. What else? Data on discapacidad.
Yeah, so it would be county data, and then state compliance and resources.
Hay algunos recursos de cumplimiento del estado también.
It's a long time since I've had translators, so I know that there's that pause. So I'll continue to.
I'm not a professional.
So there's a point, and then pause. That way we don't get ahead of ourselves. So some of the county data is based on housing, right? So a lot of our businesses obviously are based on population. I think what I want to do is make sure that I give you that broad look. So I'm going to jump a little bit to, let me see if I can get to this point here. If this will show, well, maybe we'll keep going. Hold on 1 second. Get to the next slide. Okay. So what I'd like to do is, this is from the Solano County Regional Housing Element Collaborative. This is our regional housing needs assessment for 23 to 2031.
Esta información que vamos a ver ahorita es de esta organización, Solano County Regional Housing, bueno, es del condado, ¿verdad? Pero de la parte que se encarga de Housing Element Collaborative.
How many people are familiar with the housing element chamber? So this is how the county collects data from the census. So a lot of this data will be coming from the census or the federal census that was done in California. The points I wanted to first just use on this slide was to quickly define how the Americans with Disability Act defines an individual with disability. So this is really just definitions.
El condado usa esta forma para poder reportar información en el census y entonces la forma guía, ¿verdad?, qué tipo de necesidades tienen, pero también da definiciones que se considera una persona con discapacidad.
So we have hearing difficulty. So that's deafness or serious difficulty in hearing. So somebody may still be able to hear you, but there's a severe diminished hearing capacity. Vision difficulty, blindness, or serious difficult seeing. Cognitive difficulty, which is concentrating, remembering, or making decisions, physical and mental or emotional condition. Ambulatory difficulty is a serious difficulty walking or climbing stairs. And self-care difficulty is dressing or bathing. So just to kind of give you all an idea of how the American with Disabilities Act defines a disability.
Que esas son las categorías que colecciona el condado para US Census basado en definiciones de disabilidad. Está dificultades en escuchar, ¿verdad? Personas que no pueden escuchar, sordas o que tienen problemas serios para escuchar. Dificultad en ver, personas que son ciegas o que necesitan o que tienen visión, dificultad de ver seria. Esta no sé cómo se dice, dificultad cognitiva. Se refiere a personas que tienen problemas concentrándose, recordando, más que todo que tenga que ver con lo mental, o hacer decisiones físicas, mentales o emocionales. Dificultad movilitaria quiere decir personas que tienen problemas caminando o subiendo escaleras, o personas que tienen problemas cuidándose a sí mismas, por ejemplo, si tienen problemas vistiéndose o bañándose.
So although I'm pulling this data from housing, there is a difference between businesses, and we'll get to some of the commercial aspect. The next thing I wanted to show you was the data, right? And so this is one of the components that I think is missed on a lot of business owners is how many people have disabilities within your region, right? These are all potential customers, they're potential clients. So there's a wide range of people in the county that would like to have your goods and services and would like some way to access you.
Anthony nos va a presentar datos del condado para que como negocios, ¿verdad? Tenemos una idea de nuestra población que vamos a servir y así podamos pensar en también esta población cuando pensemos en crear servicios y productos.
Great. So the data packet I should mention is from ABAG, that's the Association of Bay Area Governments, 2021 data. Okay.
De donde vino estos datos son de esta asociación del 2021.
Okay. So getting into a little bit more of this, looking at the population, just Fairfield, 13,000 individuals with some form of disability. That's a lot of people. And when you look at the percentage of Fairfield, out of 112,000, that's a considerable, and I'm using the term only because we're in the chamber, but market share, right? That's a group of individuals that do have money and do have needs for services. So it's important to note that this community is out there, but they do have, different ways of having to communicate. There's different ways of having access.
Anthony estaba presentando como ejemplo personas reportadas con discapacidad en Fairfield, por ejemplo. Hay un poco más de 13,000 habitantes, que representa un poco menos del 12% del total de la población, ¿verdad? De 112,000, que es el total. Para un negocio podría ser un número significativo que quizás deberían de considerar como parte del servicio que quieren dar.
So the second table is disability by type, right? And so just to have some of this data, and again, this is just to orient, your understanding of what this looks like throughout the county and city by city, right? Hearing difficulty, right, per city. Independent living difficulty, cognitive difficulty, vision. So these are things like, and I use examples like if you had a menu that was in Braille, or if you had a menu that was in large print, you would be, making sure that there's access to individuals. And in this category, it's up to 3.9% in Rio Vista, right? So there is a number to making these services accessible to different people with disabilities.
Okay, Anthony también está presentando la tabla de abajo que está disponible a todos, ¿verdad? Cómo se divide la información basada en la disabilidad. Por ejemplo, estaba demostrando que en Río Vista, si un restaurante tiene menú accesible para personas con dificultad de ver, está en casi un 4%, para que sí, ¿verdad? Tengamos eso en mente, que en Río Vista hay esa población casi el 5%, casi el 4%.
So I do want to jump to another to Google Earth, so I could show you kind of a map of what those data points look like. But I just wanted to make sure that we read Title III, California Code of the ADA prohibits discrimination. I'm sorry, this is Disabilities Act. Sorry, there's 5 titles. Title III. I wanted to list this because it's important. Title III of the ADA prohibits discrimination by private entities operating as places of public accommodation and commercial facilities. All new construction and modifications to public accommodations and commercial facilities must be built in compliance with the ADA's requirements for accessible design. So this is a requirement, and so but there are some caveats to that, right? And I wanted to show you just visually what this looks like.
Aquí en Estados Unidos existe un act, en verdad que es una de las leyes que existen en Estados Unidos que controla todo lo que tiene que ver con discapacidad y accesibilidad para personas. El título 3 es lo que estaba compartiendo aquí Anthony. Lo voy a leer brevemente porque es usa términos legales, pero básicamente dice que prohíbe la discriminación de personas discapacitadas a entrar o a operar en lugares que sean públicos, que tienen que haber acomodaciones, accesibilidad en lugares comerciales y que todas las construcciones y modificaciones al público debe acomodar a ese tipo de personas con discapacidades.
Okay, and so before we jump into data, I wanted to give you guys kind of a look at so what I did was I pulled from that same report. I don't think we can show you just yet. Hold on. Oh, I have to stop the presentation. Sorry. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. Let me minimize this. Nope. Give me 1 second. Is it coming up? Okay. So just to kind of give a little bit of a visual, I pulled this report and then overlaid it on top of Solano County so that we could somewhat go through. And I didn't know how interactive we wanted this to be, but we can, dive in here. And you can see that in the yellow, it's the 0 to 10% people with disabilities. Red, you can see a portion of red is over 40% of that population in that area as a person or people with disabilities. And that was from that list mentioned before. But if you look at Rio Vista area, there's a considerable amount of people in that bracket of 20 to 30%, right? And so if you're a business or you're conducting business in that area, you just want to be cognizant of the fact that the populations are changing. A lot of our population has gotten older, and so there's a lot of components to that. So as you're conducting business, you want to make sure that you're at least aware of that. And if you have a place of business, a physical place of business, that access matters, right? And so those different types of access is something that we're going to jump into with the state website.
Okay. Anthony estaba presentando este mapa para personas que son más visuales y no se le hace dificultoso leer las tablas, ¿verdad? Con números, puede ser un poco confuso. Entonces, este mapa representa porcentaje por colores. Por ejemplo, si estamos viendo en Río Vista, el porcentaje de ese color anda como entre el 30 y 40%, que es alto, para que sí tengamos en mente, ¿verdad? Que si operamos un negocio en este local, que tenemos un número alto considerado de personas con discapacidad, para tener eso en mente cuando estemos haciendo renovaciones, construcciones, productos, servicios.
So one resource I want to make sure that I leave you guys with, and this is something I could send to you guys, but the housing element. I know we had one person, I think, that was familiar with it, but has a lot of good data. It does age groups, it does demographics, it does a lot of an effort versus you doing your own market analysis. You could have a pretty good starting point, based on housing.
I guess from the website.
What's that?
Yeah. From the county website.
Yeah. If you look at the county website.
Anthony nos va a presentar o estaba recomendando, ¿verdad? Que visitemos Housing Element como para estudiar estos datos que estamos compartiendo y otros datos, ¿verdad? Pero cuando hagas un análisis de mercadeo, es un buen recurso para poder hacer ese análisis.
Okay. And so let me jump back to the PowerPoint and take you through some of the, oops. Okay. So ADA compliance. So this is Department of General Services for the state. I'm Department of General Services for the county. And then your local government will also sometimes have an ADA coordinator or code enforcement or any of those groups. I want to make sure I say this because we had that conversation early. If you get a letter from any one of those agencies, normally it'll be from your local agency unless you're in service. Make sure you take that letter and note it. Sometimes it's just a notice of being out of compliance. Take that letter seriously. Some people they don't. They'll put it away. You don't want to be having letter after letter because it shows that you're somewhat disengaged from the process, right? They're sending you the letter as a means to re-engage you for whatever compliance issue that you might be out of compliance with.
Anthony,
Yeah, go ahead.
Anthony quiere clarificar que la información que está presentando ahorita es del Estado, del Departamento General de Servicios. Anthony está con el Departamento General de Servicios, pero para el condado de Solano. Entonces hay esa gran diferencia. E incluso las ciudades puede ser que tengan también un departamento o una persona similar que tenga que ver con en servicios generales o forzamiento de código. Si reciben una carta, normalmente puede ser que sea de la ciudad, si hay que reparar algo debido a que estén en falta de cumplimiento con accesibilidad, para que sí, muy importante, la tomen en cuenta, no la guarden, porque el hecho de que reciban esa carta es momento de tomar acción, que la tomen seriamente.
And I wanted to also say that there is a fear that people have when they get that letter, right? Just know that you're part of a network like the chamber. You have resources at the county. You have resources at your city. Don't feel like you're by yourself. And we know we have an architect in the room. You could always reach out to professionals in that instance. Sometimes I know, and we'll go through this in the state. Maybe I should.
Cuando reciban esa carta, muy importante de actuar. Contacten a personas que conozcan, que tengan cierto conocimiento o conocimiento profesional. Su Cámara de Comercio, aunque no sean miembros, contáctenlos. De la ciudad donde estén, contáctenlos para que les ayuden a verificar información de la carta o comprender un poco, pero lo peor que pueden hacer es quedarse sin hacer nada.
And so with that, you have resources. And with that said, I think that one of the biggest things is that sometimes you feel like you're by yourself and you're not. The code enforcement is there to help try to get in compliance. And so there's existing facilities code and statutes. This website is full of information. And this was the part where we were talking earlier. I can dive into all of this if you want to, or we could take some questions. But I did want to show they do track here, the top 10 alleged construction issues. So you can see a pattern, especially after COVID. Websites were a big one, and I think that's why we're talking about that now. Is that we found that when people were at home, they weren't able to see or go through the website, and it wasn't ADA compliant. So that's a big one. Gotcha.
Nos está explicando Anthony que hay este sitio web del Departamento General de Servicios del Estado de California es extensivo con información de accesibilidad, ¿verdad? Y el acto para que lo usen como un recurso. Incluso nos estaba apuntando de que hay esta habilidad donde nos dan los 10 la información, los top 10, ¿verdad? La información donde qué es lo que más está siendo afectado en la fecha que estaba en el reporte que tenga que ver con violaciones del acto de deshabilidad.
So I'm just showing path of travel, parking. There's those are the pretty much the big ones that you'll see. Access to goods, services and equipment, surface heights. So you have to be mindful that if somebody is in a quadriplegic, then you would be, or in a wheelchair, they would need to be able to reach things. And so there's the counters, tabletops. So sometimes you can't put a chair in between an ADA table. There's a lot of different things, and professionals will help you with that, identifying all that.
Ahí en la lista estaba anotando Anthony, ¿verdad? ¿Cuáles son los incidentes mayores que son recurrentes? Una de las cosas que estaba mencionando es, por ejemplo, parqueo es bastante, accesibilidad a servicios, soporte y equipo. Por ejemplo, si una persona que tiene dificultad moviéndose está en silla de ruedas y necesita ir al baño, asegúrese que lo esencial esté al alcance de esa persona, el lavadero, la luz, etc.
Okay, go back one step.
Can I just say something really quick
Yeah.
about bathrooms? So when you're thinking about your bathroom, it's not just that the wheelchair can be in there. It requires 60 inches, I think, of turnaround space. And the thing that you have to think about is it's not just the person who's in the wheelchair. Oftentimes, if someone is disabled, someone is in the bathroom with them to help use the bathroom. So it's not just like, I can get in there. It's, can the person who's helping me get in there with me? And so something as simple as those, one of the biggest things is bathrooms. That can cost a lot of money. Solano County is a very old county. Our buildings are very old. So that retrofit can be very difficult. So as you're coming into a new business or thinking about a business, really look at those bathrooms and say, can a person in a wheelchair and another person come into this bathroom when you're laying that out? So just that's, I can tell you right now, I've got two restaurants that are both dealing with this right now. And both of them are having to give up kitchen space to expand their bathrooms so that they have the space.
Lo que Tina mencionaba es que cuando estén en un proceso de renovación o reconfiguración, sobre todo del baño, que tengan en mente que una persona que está en silla de ruedas, el baño no tiene que ser lo suficientemente grande solo para que alcance la persona con silla de ruedas, porque muchas veces estas personas van con alguien que les ayude. Así que el baño tiene que ser suficientemente amplio para que la persona que va apoyando a estas personas con discapacidad también pueda tener espacio de estar ahí apoyando, para que tengan eso en mente.
Something
I'm
might.
going to add on to this real quick too. Lots of times the stuff that Anthony showed, they're not complicated fixes. They're operational items. When you go into a bathroom, oftentimes you see a little credenza or a little plant stand or things like that. That's in the way. That can't be moved, and that's an issue. There's 7 lawsuits right now on Heat Street where the counter is too high, where you check out.
Yeah.
And they just need to be lowered. It's not a big deal, but it's knowing things like that. It'd be very simple fix.
Steve mencionaba que hay circunstancias que las reparaciones pueden ser un poco más simples, como revisen alrededor del baño a ver si hay objetos que estén interrumpiendo, ¿verdad?, con el espacio. Tina y Steve están comentando un poco acerca de todos los demandas que están sufriendo personas que ellos conocen o que están lidiando o que están apoyando, ayudándoles con esas demandas. Por esas razones.
So I was clicking some of there's the CalCap. So for small businesses, for loans, I know that there are programs out there from the state that do help with this. Everybody is fully vested in helping small businesses deal with this issue. A lot of times you may have bought a building that was older. Those assessments are upfront. I wanted to also mention insurance companies preemptively calling and trying to get a handle on, okay, well, as I'm being insured, how would I handle ADA access, right? And a lot of times they have like trainings, they have resources for you as well. So make sure you use those resources along with some of the state information.
Anthony compartía recursos, por ejemplo, este recurso que da financiamiento para cosas que tengan que lidiar con acceso a discapacidad. También compartía recursos de... Oh, ya se me olvidó. What was the last resource?
What's that? Insurance company.
Ok, por favor contacten a su compañía de aseguranza para que así verifiquen con ellos, platiquen con ellos qué cosas están cubiertos, si acaso tienen algún evento con problemas con demandas por discapacidad, porque muchas veces las compañías de aseguranza puede hacer que ellos ya tengan recursos disponibles, ya sea que sean entrenamientos o algún otro tipo de recursos.
Okay, so that's the end of the presentation, but I wanted to see if there was any questions before we jump to one of the big issues with the websites.
Ok, preguntas para...
Yeah, thank you, Anthony.
Yeah.
Information of grants, any kind of money that you guys can help the owners or
Yeah, I do know that there are grants out there. I can reach out to you and get you some of that. We'll just work through the chamber and I'll see if I can find a list of those. I know they're out there, but there's a series of them, and sometimes it's very specific and sometimes it's very broad.
Okay.
I do know that there are loan programs through the state that do help with ADA access and ADA upgrades as well. So I think the main thing that I want to convey to everybody is if you get a letter or don't wait, know that this is something that's out there. Educate yourselves as much as possible. And we're all here as resources for you. So don't be afraid to ask those questions. And even at the county level, I'm a county ADA coordinator. So that's all of our, pretty much for the entire county. And then the cities have their people too. Sometimes cities start programs as well. So there's resources out there. Yeah, no, it's a great question.
Sal preguntaba acerca de si había en este momento, ¿verdad?, dinero de subvenciones o dinero que no se tenga que pagar de regreso como normalmente, tradicionalmente préstamos. Anthony puede hacer que tenga algunos recursos que pueda compartir con la cámara para compartirlos con todos ustedes. Normalmente lo que existe ahorita es para préstamos y algunos fondos que Anthony mencionaba son bien específicos a ciertas cosas, así que hay un poco de limitación en eso. Pero nuevamente recordarles a todos que si reciben una carta con alguna situación de problemas de acceso a discapacidad, que no se olviden de tomar acción, contacten a su cámara local, a la ciudad donde están para ver qué tipo de apoyo existe o qué recursos les pueden compartir.
So this is the checklist for 2020. So there's a lot of information that you could help just kind of wrap your head around this. I know it's a lot. Go ahead. Sorry, time.
Showing screen.
Oh,
Or it's not showing on Zoom.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh, I'm showing the map. Okay. Now I have to find this thing. Here we go. Yeah. So there's checklists, there's resources. Sorry about that. Thank you. Any other questions?
The other resource that I wanted to share is there's tax code for 2024, 2025, and 2026. So
Yep.
any ADA work that you do for your business or your building in 2024, 25, or 26, I assume it's going to carry to 27, but right now it's starting in 20, it's 100% tax deductible, which means it comes off straight off your profit. So it's not a expensable, it literally comes straight off your profit. So if you spend $10,000, you get $10,000 off your profit.
Federal and state or just state?
Federal and state. And I have paperwork. I'll send that to Ethel because I did that for my client. So I'll send that to Ethel that she can send to everybody. It came from one of the attorneys that we were working with. So that's one thing. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Tina, que quería compartir que hay estímulos de impuestos, ¿verdad? A nivel federal y estatal, que si hacen algún tipo de renovaciones, que por favor revisen con su contador certificado público para ver si algunas adiciones que hayan hecho, reparaciones en su establecimiento de negocio, que por favor revisen con ellos, que les dejen saber, porque puede hacer que 100% de esas reparaciones sean deducibles de sus impuestos.
And then the other thing that I wanted to share is there's certificates that you get once you've done your CAS certification. You've had someone come in and look and see, and they see that you've done the work, and that's a marketing avenue. So it stops, you get a sign that you put on your window. When someone who is disabled walks up, they see that you've already, attempted to comply. There's a lot of ADA compliance stuff, guys. there's a lot. But there's a certificate that shows it's access inspected. That is going to help you immensely in avoiding the lawsuits. So the state and the county and the city are all one thing. Most of them are coming in and looking at building codes, not the actual ADA compliance. The way they enforce the ADA compliance is lawsuits. And one of the things that's happening right now and why we brought this to the table today is I'm trying not to make a political statement, but in the current administration, if you look at the lawsuits that are just out of Oakland and Sacramento in the last 6 months, they're going after immigrant business owners because immigrant business owners are afraid to fight things in court. And so it's one thing to get the letter from the city and don't ignore that. But what I'm saying is do what you can do ahead of a lawsuit because they are, I don't know what the right word is politically correctly, but they are really trying to get immigrant businesses because culturally they don't want to fight. They just want to pay the settlement, pay the money, and make it go away. So I'm sorry, I know how to.
Lo que Tina recomienda es que nos tratemos de poner adelante de estos problemas porque, bueno, por dos cosas, ¿verdad? Pueden pasar y porque es el buen común de hacer, de preparar nuestros negocios para acceder a capacitados. Si se adelantan a este problema, pueden recibir un certificado de, como el que estaba mostrando Steve ahí, de acceso, que ha sido inspeccionado, que ayuda, ¿verdad?, de cierta forma a estas personas maliciosas a que no, a que, pues, obviamente fue inspeccionado, que les quite las ganas de tratar de hacer algún daño. También lo pueden usar, ¿verdad? Si, sobre todo si tienen un alto porcentaje de personas que tienen discapacidad en el área donde viven, pueden usarlo como material también, ¿verdad? Para dejarles saber a las personas que hemos sido inspeccionados, que damos bienvenida a las personas con discapacidad.
Anthony, so I have a question.
Please.
Question.
Sure.
First question is, most business owners rent or lease from the original.
Right.
And triple net leases ends up being their issue when
Right.
the owner already knows it's not ADA compliance. So is there a way to have like a checklist to have a leasee go in with that lease with that paperwork? And say,
Yeah.
this is your problem. You can fix this. I can't rent anymore. I want 5 rooms because of that purpose.
Yeah, I would say
Later put that in place.
so there are several checklists on the state website that I was showing before, and I'm glad you brought this up because the triple net you wind up owning all of it.
Yeah.
So what some landlords do is they bring you on board, you sign the lease, you stand up your business, and then you have an ADA issue, and there's a larger problem that you as a person who just invested into this building for your business, you're stuck with the issues, or leaving, right? Which is you got to stand up somewhere else. I would use that state website as you are doing design and you're bringing on, let's say, a new kitchen, or you're bringing on a new office space, or you're bringing on something that will require design. Make sure that you bring in a professional for a couple hours. It's a very small rate just to do that assessment and get that quote, and then you can use that as a negotiating point as well for the lease. A lot of times in triple net leases, if they're tenant improvements, sometimes the owner will let you spread that out over a 10-year period, and you can work that into your lease. So it's a great negotiating point if you spin it to your benefit, right? Well, actually, it's everyone's benefit. Sorry, I said a lot.
Jerry preguntaba que, bueno, mencionaba que muchas de estas compañías que se encargan de administrar la venta de locales y los dueños saben los problemas que sus locales ya tienen. Muchos ya saben cuáles son los problemas con acceso a discapacidad. Sin embargo, no hacen nada, ¿verdad? Ponen el acuerdo ahí enfrente de la persona que quiere rentar el local y no hacen nada para reparar, no mencionan nada para dejárselo el problema a las personas que rentan. Entonces, Anthony está dando como sugerencias, siempre revisen sus contratos, acuerdos, usen lo que puedan para negociar, ¿verdad? Cómo pueden colaborar mutuamente para improvisar. Anthony mencionaba que vale la pena que lleven una persona certificada que inspeccione el área para que así ustedes tengan poder negociar con las personas que les va a rentar y poder llegar a un acuerdo. Mira, estas cosas necesitan repararse, ¿qué podemos hacer para repararlas y los dos beneficiarlos mutuamente?
Great. And so you could get a lower lease rate in that element if you make that investment. But great question.
I'm cognizant of time and I want to.
Sorry. Okay.
This applies to both, and just because Leo just brought it up. So the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has a public policy committee, a big seminar that they're working on. April 14th, I think, and part of that allows us to meet with our legislator. And I can tell you that I will be talking to them about Senate Bill 84, which is specifically about ADA compliance. The way it's written right now, the only way the reason all these lawsuits are in federal court is because that's the only way to enforce them with penalties. And the plaintiff's attorneys know that, and that's what they're going after. So that's why all these cases are not in civil court, they're not in superior court, they're in federal court. And so SB 7484, whatever it was, what they want to do is they want to create a 90-day fix it period. So if you're a business owner and someone comes in and they want to visit your business and they can't, then they tell you that and you have 90 days to fix it before they can file a lawsuit. Because what the federal law says is if someone doesn't come because they didn't feel like they could be, which is why they don't even have to come to your place of business to sue you. They can literally see it on Google that you don't have a parking spot and they can sue you, and it's $4,000 per infraction per time they would have come. So they don't even have to prove that they were going to come. And that's the way the law was written. The bill was written in 1990. This Senate bill has been before the Senate for 19 years. And the plaintiff's attorneys get it taken off every single time. There's 3 other laws that are written this way. There's 3 others. So anyway, my point in this is if you really do not want this to be, write your senators, write your assembly people, because this is currently on the docket for them to talk about, and tell them don't take it off. Small businesses in California are dying on the vine, and pay attention to this and make sure this is the time it doesn't get kicked. So that's my political advocacy piece of this, because that's what's that's one of the big pieces that needs to change.
Tina mencionaba que nosotros también, ¿verdad? Como dueños de negocios no nos quedemos callados, que aboguemos por nosotros mismos y que nos unamos con nuestras cámaras locales para poder abogar con nuestros políticos, ya sea estatal y locales. Hay ciertos proyectos de leyes que son muy antiguos y que todavía están ya de regreso para que así sigamos abogando, ¿verdad? Que te dé un periodo de reparación si recibimos alguna de estas cartas. Muy importante, ese periodo de reparación es 90 días, que a cualquier negocio pequeño le ayuda a poder reparar antes de poder ser demandado y obviamente perder dinero.
Everyone, it's almost 6:30. I'm sorry it took so much time. We have a very important speaker to go over our websites, which is another big issue. I'll just stick around for questions if you have any. But thank you, everybody.
Yeah, that is me. Tony, can you stop sharing?
Yeah, I'm trying that now. Sorry. They have all these okay, got it.
No,
versus right now, which is statewide. And so your probability is much higher, and it's $5,000. And with that said, there are requirements. One, you need to be a small business. And two, you have to take a course on on the platform, which is the digital ready platform. If you're not signed up, highly, and I'm gonna almost force you not to watch. One class. We're already here, we're already doing the work. It's gonna take 2 seconds just to sign up, and then you just scan this. This right here is very specific because we have signed up this course on the platform that if you scan this course, you get credit for it, which unlocks the grant that you can apply for, and then crossing everything that I have that you get. 5,000, that's a good amount, that could do some damage to your business.
It also unlocks other components. So there's $200 in credit for constant contact. There's $200 in credit for AT&T digital readiness. So there's all kinds of stuff that unlocks, even if you didn't happen to win the $5,000. There's other stuff that it unlocks. And the education is in English or Spanish. There's webinars, there's online, there's everything.
There's in several languages. 1, 2, very important AI, because we're in that era right now, and so it's super important to be in the know. However, there's information on funding. There's programs and courses on, how to get ready for procurement. Procurement is a big word, and it's, we can have a conversation about that. But it's how to, fix your books, how to make sure you understand, marketing. So there's just so many different courses that are either 7 minutes, 15 minutes, or they're live, or there's one-on-one as well. So there's a lot of stuff on this platform. Please sign up and take advantage of it, because it's only going to help you in your business. And again, you're not leaving until you sign up. And it's gratis. That's okay, that's my Spanish friend.
That was great.
You don't need to be a Verizon customer either.
Yeah.
It
It is Verizon, but this is Verizon program for small businesses that is nothing to do with their cell phone service.
Brevemente en español, por favor.
Okay, en español. Is your mic on?
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
perfecto. Entonces, en español, para los que están escuchando en Zoom y para los que están escuchando más tarde en YouTube o cualquier otra forma, súper importante, porque en este momento estábamos hablando sobre un programa de, se llama Digital Ready Program. Es una plataforma en línea donde tratamos que cada pequeño negocio se inscriba en esta plataforma. Es gratis, y tiene muchos recursos para los pequeños negocios que puedan avanzar su negocio en marketing, en contabilidad. Tienen becas, tienen préstamos pequeños para pequeños negocios. También tienen ¿cómo se dice? Grants.
Subvenciones.
Donde puede aplicar. Y súper importante en este momento, si nos está escuchando ahora o más tarde, esto es solamente durante este tiempo hasta marzo 31, que es de aquí a 5 días, se cierra esta oportunidad donde uno puede aplicar para recibir una subvención de $5,000 para su pequeño negocio. ¿Qué es lo que tiene que hacer? 1, inscribirse en la plataforma. 2, tomar un curso que si está aquí o está en Zoom o me está escuchando, ya está inscrito. Nada más tiene que escanear el QR code que les voy a compartir en este momento, y le abre la ventanilla donde puede aplicar para esta subvención que se cierra ahora, marzo 31, a las 11:59 de la noche. So, tienen tiempo, no se me pueden ir, les voy a esperar a la puerta y si se me van, yo sé dónde están.
Yo sé dónde viven.
Yo sé dónde están. Gracias.
Okay, we are done. See you, everyone. No, I'm not going to escape. So, I will love you to stay here. I will try my best to translate at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So, but
You need me here.
I need you there for moral support. I want to see you there because. So, hello everyone. Welcome again for the presentation of the ADA webinar. Basically today, what I'm here for, and if you don't know me, because of this presentation was kind of short, my name is Gabriel Gramajo. I'm the CIO and founder of Idea Factory, this company that is an IT consultancy that has been in the market for the last 14 years or something like that. We are still fighting. And the thing is that we converted ourselves nowadays to an AI agency that we are providing AI automation and everything that is in that field. Okay. But today, our focus is going to be in providing information about how we can work around ADI compliance, and how we can mitigate the risk, mostly associated with our digital presence. If I'm running too fast, just tell me to stop, and I will slow down, because this accent is pretty strong. So, entonces, estamos presentando hoy ADI Webinar, que es en realidad nuestra presencia digital y cómo se ve afectada por las regulaciones de ADI que tenemos, tanto estatales como federales y también locales, porque de vez en cuando son más estrictas inclusive que las federales. Y nosotros lo que vamos a introducir hoy es cómo podemos mitigar los riesgos que están asociados con ADI y cómo podemos trabajar para prevenir y atacar preventivamente esos problemas. Mi nombre es Gabriel Gramajo, soy el fundador de Idea Factory, una IT consultancy, eso no lo vamos a traducir, que lo que provee servicios en el área de AI Automation, y hoy en día estamos aquí para hacer el camino juntos y conocer un poquito más, tener mayor información sobre ADI and its compliance. ¿Ok? ¿Veo? ¿Cómo ven? O salta si querés. Please. So, next, no, don't jump. You can jump in. So, the agenda for today. There you go. So, we are going to go over an introduction to ADA, which are the compliance guidelines that we are going to provide. Why is so important? Why is so important for us? Mostly the digital presence, okay? The tools and resources, we are going to present a couple of tools that you can utilize yourself in your house for your business to try to prevent or recognize which are the culprits that could be basically bringing your business into problems, okay? We are going to review a couple of case studies taken from the real life, and we are going to go over some recommendations and strategies. And then at the end, we are going to have a brief Q&A, brief 1 minute, okay? So, nuestra agenda para el día de hoy, vamos a hacer una introducción sobre ADA, vamos a ir sobre las compliance, una guía básica de lo que tenemos que tener como compliance. ¿Por qué es tan importante hoy en día el ser compliance de ADA? Y vamos a atacar una serie o proveer una serie de herramientas y recursos que ustedes pueden utilizar por su propia mano para su negocio, para prevenir y estar al día o obtener información sobre qué puede estar afectando su presencia digital. ¿Ok?
Gabriel, in regards to the introduction, I know Anthony covered a little bit. Maybe you can do it briefly, just covering the digital part, if we already got it.
Yeah, you are going to see that you interrupt me just for the sake of it. So you are really.
Thank you very much.
You can sit down.
No, I need to do it. I'll do that. We are going to follow your voice. ¿Dónde estaba? ¿Ves? Me hiciste perder. Now I don't know if I need to do Spanish, English, or Portuguese. So we were going on to vamos a compartir una serie de herramientas y recursos y vamos a caminar sobre una serie de ejemplos tomados de la vida real de un customer que tenemos que tuvo que hacer una reforma de su sitio web. ¿Ok? Y al final, un par de preguntas y respuestas. Everyone okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, let's move on. So, the question, what is ADA? Is ADA? Okay? Don't tell me it's a kind of a witch, because it could be a witch, okay? But with H in Spanish, okay? No, that's a terrible joke. ¿Qué es ADA? What is ADA?
American Disability Act.
Excellent. Do you have the key for the car? So, yeah, it's the American Disabilities Act. And basically, there is a quick foundation for this. There are 3 pillars for this. It's Title 1, and I will, for your permission here, Tony, on this one, pretty quick. Title 1, okay, employment. Title 2, state and local government services. Title 3, the thing that I'm going to touch, public accommodation. Why is public accommodation? Because that involves website, okay? That is why we are here today, and I'm here today, I think. Which is the important part of this? Is that there are certain regulations that are kind of going in hand with ADA, that are the WCAG, that is a standard created by the Web Consortium, that is the web content, what is the word, accessibility guideline. Then we have section 508, that is a federal office settlement that comes from a long time ago. And then we have state laws, correctly mentioned by Tony. Okay, so that I will step out of the topic pretty quick after the Spanish singing. We are good? We're good. Okay, no voy a gastar mucho tiempo. Title 1, hay 3 pilares fundamentales para ADA, okay? Title 1, que es para la parte de empleo. Title 2, que es para lo que está relacionado con servicios provistos por el gobierno, tanto local como estatal. Y Title 3, que es para, ¿cómo sería esto? Public Accommodation.
Acomodaciones públicas.
Perfecto, acomodaciones públicas. Y vamos a tocar este tema en particular porque este es el que envuelve al tema de los websites. No solamente los websites, I forget to mention, it's not only website, it's applications also. Because your business could have apps. And if the apps are not also ADI compliant, they could fall in your back. Okay? So, no, Public Accommodations nos va a servir para no solamente tocar el tema del website, sino también para el de las applications, porque ellas se ven afectadas por las regulaciones de ADA. Okay? So, moving forward, ¿cuáles son los trends? Which are the trends? I'm flipping back and then forward in English. Which are the trends that we are seeing in regards to lawsuits? Okay, the main one is that there is an increase in litigation based on the website. Okay, this skyrocketed since 2018. Okay, has been going down a bit the last year, but anyways, they are waiting for something to happen, I believe. Then there are several industries that are being attacked by these litigations, mostly for hospitality, healthcare, education, and retail. So probably if your business is in one of these industries, you are going to be targeted in certain moment. Hope not, but there are big chances. And there are demand letters, that are going to precede the lawsuit. So you are going to know upfront that someone is going to establish some litigation against you because they are going to send a demand letter. But, I mean, hopefully you will have all the tools to prevent that to happen to your business, okay? Now, this is the remediation. Proactively work and place strategies to prevent your business to fall into this, okay? And that's why we are going to try to collaborate with you today, okay? So, Spanish. ¿Qué es lo que estamos viendo? Es que hay un montón de ¿cómo son? Litigation. Demandas, gracias. Excelente. We are doing all together. We have several translators. We don't need you anymore. Tenemos varias de estas litigaciones, estas demandas, que han incrementado desde el año 2018, han crecido skyrocketing, they are jumping right away, y la mayoría de esas demandas han atacado este tipo de industrias, el comercio, la salud, la educación y hospitalidad, que es básicamente hoteles, restaurantes, etc. ¿Okay? Están precedidas estas demandas por cartas de demanda. ¿Okay? O sea, ellos te avisan antes de ponerte un lawsuit que te voy a embromar. ¿Okay? Hablando mal y pronto. ¿Okay? I'm going to do something to you. Okay? That's in English, or the translation without being so gross. And then, lo que ustedes tienen que hacer, o lo que estamos tratando de colaborar con ustedes en la Chamber, es proveerles de las herramientas para que ustedes puedan preventivamente tomar las medidas para al menos mitigar este problema. ¿Ok? Así que no se asegura con esto que ustedes lo vayan a eliminar, pero por lo menos le van a poner un break. Como lo que decía Tony, el gentleman, respecto de poner los avisos en el restaurante y de esa manera evitarse problemas mayores. ¿Ok? ¿Alguna pregunta? Any questions so far? Cool. So, we have been talking about the standards and so on. The one that basically rules all the content and the content creation for web is the WCAG 2.1. Okay, it's 2.2 really, the latest one. Anyway, we are going to stay with this one for now. Okay, that standard was set by the W3C, that is the Web Consortium. Okay, it was basically published in 2018, so you have a couple of years there of activity, but it has been so good in the sense of the regulation or providing the best practices that it was transformed into a level 8A that is now a common legal standard. So, se creó un estándar para la web para decir cómo ustedes tenían o cómo se tenían que aplicar las mejores prácticas para crear contenido para un sitio web, para su presencia digital, y esto llevó a que este consorcio creara en 2018 este el WCAG 2.0, ¿ok? A partir de allí, esta información se transformó en tan importante y se tomó como referencia para crear un estándar legal, ¿ok? Es lo que se utiliza, this is what is being used today to basically pursue demand letter, actually, ¿ok? So, this standard is based in something that is called the PUR. Okay, PUR stands by the 4 principles that compose the standard. Okay, that is perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. Okay, PUR. Remember that, because I will ask for that at the end of the session. Okay, so perceivable is for the information that must be presented in a way that can be perceived. How is that? Because if you move your mouse over any image on a website, sometimes it presents like a tooltip, a letter, a caption, okay? And that is one of the things that help people that does have reducing capabilities, okay? That are basically able to read that information, okay? So that is perceivable. Operable is those components that prevent or that allows actually to use not only your mouse or your fingers if you are in an app, but also your keyboard. It's really important for a bunch of people to use the keyboard to move around. Now, if you are moving back 20 years in computers, the keyboard was the only thing useful. But now, a bunch of people is needed because they cannot move the mouse or even the finger, okay? So, understandable, the content and operations should be consistent across the site, okay? So, the information that you are providing across the website should be in a pace that could be understood by anyone, okay? And they should basically follow a line, like a story, okay? and robust, the content must work with certain assertive technology. What that means is that there are screen readers for that people that is not able to read by themselves the website, okay? That has a certain impaired capacity or whatever. But in essence, these screen readers, they read the content of the website and basically create a voice for it, okay? So I'm going to move into Spanish now. Hay un acrónimo para los 4 principios básicos en lo que se soporta el estándar WCAG 2.1, ¿ok? Uno es perceivable, de percepción de cómo se interpreta la información que se presenta en el sitio web, y eso se puede ver cuando ustedes ponen el mouse, lo que se llama un mouse hover, arriba o sobre una imagen, y automáticamente aparece un caption, como unas letritas que explican cuál es la imagen. I forgot to explain something. Sometimes people were using that hover over the image to put ads or to put an explanation or put a book in there. But the essence is that was understood over time, that was helpful for this type of compliances, let's put it that way. Operable. La interfase de usuario necesita proveer los medios para poder ser navegada utilizando no solo el mouse, sino también el keyboard o el teclado, básicamente. ¿Ok? Y understandable, algo que se podría decir que es sentido común, que el sitio web provea en su contenido algo que sea consistente, constante a través de la experiencia que tiene uno de navegar ese sitio web. Y al final, robusto o robust. Básicamente lo que dice que el contenido del sitio web puede ser leído por los asistentes de lectura. ¿Ok? ¿Todo good? All good? Cool. Let's move on. So, this is related to the number that I was mentioning before. I was commenting to Tony that I think the number for 2025 went down on this a bit, but the trend is the lawsuit are going to continue growing, not going down. Okay. I already mentioned that information there. Este gráfico muestra cuál es la tendencia de estas litigaciones y estas demandas, y va en aumento. O sea, ha reducido un poco para el año 25, pero sigue en aumento y no, esa es la expectativa. I hope not. Okay. So, ¿cuál es el aspecto, los 4 aspectos? Which are the 4 aspects that we can basically work on that I mentioned before, basically to adhere to website and mobile compliance, make sure that your website or application respect the guidelines for the WCAG, keyboard navigation, screen reader compatibility, color and contrast. This is basically one of the main ones, because most of the people, when they are looking to try to find out your website is ADA, they are going to look for this one, okay? Because it's the one that will pop up to the eye, okay? 4 componentes que ustedes tienen que atender, prestar atención con el tema de los assets digitales, es que su sitio web o aplicación mobile tiene que respetar las guidelines o la ruling de WCAG. Que la navegación se pueda hacer por teclado, que los screen readers, que sea compatible con los screen readers, con aplicaciones que puedan leer el contenido del sitio y producirlo con voz, y que se respeten las reglas de color contrast y alt text. Básicamente que las imágenes estén proveyendo una forma de ser claramente divisibles en el sitio. Hay sitios que el contraste no ayuda a divisar cuál es una imagen, cuál es un botón o cuál es un texto. ¿Ah? Eso es fundamental. Hay otro set de información, pero no le vamos a prestar en este momento atención. ¿Ok? Validation and testing. Remember when I was mentioning about the resources and tools that we are going to share with you? So this is the main set of things that you can use in a preventive fashion to kind of address the situation of ADI compliance. okay? So we have automated scanning tools that are used to scan your website, and basically by scanning your website, they will return certain information that you can use by yourself if you know to deal with HTML or programming language or so whatsoever, or even today with AI, because as you guys know, you can use something that is called byte coding to create your own website. And the beauty of that is that you can tell the AI to produce the code for your page to be ADI compliant. It's actually part of the prompts that you can add there when you are building your own website, okay? So a screen reader, between the tools that you can use is web access dev tools, Lighthouse, and I will present to you a couple of websites there that you will see how to use it, and then you can share with me which is your experience, because it could differ from one to the other. A screen reader testing, you can use JAWS, NVDA, and VoiceOver to try to find out if your website basically compliance with the screen readers. And then I will not recommend this, go on to manual validation of the checks. They require a bit of expertise with HTML, with certain knowledge of JavaScript and programming technologies and so on. So if you can stay away from this one, but if you know how to deal with them or you need some help, give me a call. We will give you a hand there, okay? And then the most important thing, continuous monitoring. That means once you do the job, don't leave it there, because things are going to change, regulations are going to flip, and then you are going to be caught again in the net of the lawsuit, okay? So we have certain strategies later on, we share with you, even in the examples, so you can say, oh, okay, maybe I can do that, and then in the future, I will not need to worry about this, okay? Entonces, into Spanish, tenemos herramientas de automatización que nos permiten escanear los sitios web para poder obtener información y análisis de estos sitios y de manera de poder utilizarla para hacer las correcciones necesarias y convertirnos en ADI compliance, ¿ok? Bueno, parte de esas tools son Web, Access Dev Tools, Lighthouse, y les vamos a compartir unos sitios web para que ustedes puedan ver cómo funcionan. Screen Reader Testing, hay herramientas como JAWS, NVDA, VoiceOver, que te ayudan a tratar de pasar tu sitio web por ellos y identificar si el sitio web es compliance with Screen Readers, ¿ok? Y validación manual, o sea, chequeos que ustedes quieran correr sobre el código generado en su sitio web, se pueden hacer si tienen conocimiento de HTML y JavaScript, que es lo principal que se utiliza, pueden hacerlo. No se lo recomiendo porque el contenido cambia y si es un AI generated website, it's going to flip because they are flipping back and forth and even, yeah, it's a different story. Lo que sí les recomiendo es que una vez que hayan llegado a obtener un nivel de corrección de su sitio web, adopten una estrategia de monitoreo. ¿Qué significa esto? Que la situación de compliance va a cambiar seguramente, porque cambian las regulaciones, cambia el sentido inclusive del código, y esto lo tienen que estar monitoreando continuamente. No sé qué le pasó a la pantalla, pero creo que la... No quiso, there is someone that doesn't want me to share this information. No fue a sleep. Puedo hacerlo, I can continue doing the presentation in Zoom. If you want to jump into Zoom, maybe.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
It is on Zoom. Yeah, let me just-
A ver, para que I can try to connect it to the HDMI. Perdón. Sí. Ahí está. There you go. Se recalentó. Yeah, overheated with too much information. Déjenme ver cómo movemos esto. A ver si lo toma ahora. Ya. Leo, ¿te puedes fijar si sigue viéndolo? ¿Sí? Ok, perfecto.
Una pregunta que tengo. Con lo que dices de todas estas pruebas, normalmente gente alquila o trabaja con alguien que hace esto.
Sí.
¿Cómo puedes verificar que lo hicieron?
Ahora les voy a mostrar. Jerry has a pretty good question. If you are working with a consultant that is making your website for you, how you are going to test if they really did the work. So, creo que los de español entendimos todo la pregunta, ¿no? So, a really good question, but I will show you a couple of tools that you can utilize in order to check that box. Les voy a mostrar un par de herramientas que les pueden permitir descubrir si es verdad lo que es. If you work with us, you will not have that problem. Ay, ay, ay. Always selling, no, Leo? Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so you guys are going to hear this area label a lot, okay? The area label is basically something that pops up based on these standard or best practices to create your website. The meaning of that is that when you see a button or a label or a text in a website, there are certain things that behind the scene are being cracked. This is HTML code. And over time, there were added some extra information onto the definition for that HTML code that is helping with ADI compliance. And one of those is the area label, and is represented, for instance, if we are talking about a button, the area label is saying close because you have a close button there, okay? But behind the scene, you probably see an image only that is a close on an exit or something like that. Then if you have labels, it's going to say something like search, okay? And that is helping the interpretation of the website, even for the screen readers, to react and to present correctly that information for the consumer, the end user of that website or application even, okay? So, en español, Area Label fue creada como un complemento a la generación del HTML para poder ayudar a los interpretadores del HTML a proveer un sentido a los objetos o entidades que se estaban generando en el HTML. Por ejemplo, tenemos para botones que se incluyó este Area Label Close, que lo que significa va a ser interpretado por ese navegador o por el interpretador de pantalla como un cierre. ¿Okay? En cuanto a las etiquetas, se puede agregar uno que sea search para representar que si uno cliquea sobre ese elemento en la pantalla, va a ir a realizar una búsqueda. ¿Ok? Entonces, vamos a movernos. Ahora viene la parte interesante. Esta es la parte de los ejemplos, o del ejemplo, básicamente. Este es el sitio de Solano Notary Public, that you can basically go to that site, right, Leo? You can go to that site, and basically you can hire the service of these people. They are really good doing notarizations, okay? So, but they came with the problem that they create a website, and the first time that they accessed the website, it was a disaster, okay? So, as you can see here, this is using Wave. Wave is a tool that you can embed in Chrome, and basically will run an analysis over your web page and tell you how many errors or things you need to correct in order to make that website ADI compliance, okay? Wave is the name. You can install it as an extension of Chrome. And basically, once you open the website, you open this application, this extension, run it, and boom, it's going to tell you how well it's looking or not. In this case, the first run was telling you that there were 9 errors, and the AI score, you cannot see it, barely see it here, but that score is basically going from 1 to 10, and 10 is the best, 1 is really bad. Usually the websites in US are ranking between 5 and 6 for this type of validations. So if you are 6.9, even with all of those errors, you are kind of in good shape, okay? But these guys are not going to respect anything. So if they see a 6 here, they are going to go after you. And they are going to start taking captures of this and taking captures of the whole website, and good luck.
Are they using Wave then to?
They are using Wave, and right now they are using AI to run it.
Oh,
And
man.
and I will show you something later on,
Oh,
okay?
man.
Gabe, is it the same penalties, the $4,000 per infraction?
No, the penalties, well, they are even more.
They're just.
No, they are taking you down. No, I cannot, I was trying to find out because someone told me last Thursday that someone was sued for 150K. So that is taking you down, unless you have insurance for that. And most of the people, they just put the website. They barely have to put their website. They don't have to put an insurance going and cover that. So, but anyways, let's hope that we don't reach that moment, because we will have the tools to kind of prevent it. Okay. So let me show you a pretty quick example here. If I can bring the website, let's say Solano.
You just busted yourself out with 27.
That is my that is my inbox. Yes. It's because I don't have internet. Oh.
I swear to God, and I got 9. I've got 9 in there every day.
Anyways.
I'm not causing me anxiety.
Sí, no, es que I was using it, but all of a sudden I don't know, it disconnected. And even I'm on the, because I'm still connected because I'm in the Zoom, right? Yeah. Same Tony.
Maybe take the website down.
Maybe, maybe they took it down.
And you really use it as a bad example.
No sé.
I cannot load in my phone either.
They took it down.
We can try something else. Oh, this one is working. Oh, let's go and do this. You see? Okay, we are going to do this.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And we didn't know.
We are going to this. I hope Ethel is around there. Don't kill me. Okay.
No, he's not here.
But this is a good. I will have a good discount for you guys. Okay. Yeah.
You just have to fix it if you find things.
So we are going to use the extension that I mentioned to you guys, Wave. Okay. And in order to use an extension in Chrome, you need to go to this basically entity artifact. And here you can see it's already installed, Wave Evaluation Tool. I will provide the links for this tool later on and the other tools that I showed it to you before. So we are going to jump in there. Oh, this is pretty good.
Yay.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
0 errors.
And 7 errors, contrast errors that are none. This is pretty good because one of the main basically liabilities, if you want to put it some way for the website, is to have these guys in a number greater than 1. So, and you can see the AM score is 7.9. It's really good. No, at least not for the 2 remaining points that you have in here, but now that these people know that information, they are going to come out from here and start filling forms. Entonces, para español, lo que estamos utilizando en este momento es una tool que se llama Wave, que la activan primero instalándola, ¿no? Como una extensión de Chrome, y al quedar instalada, la van a encontrar en esta lista. Cuando vienen acá a extensiones, van a encontrar que está Wave Evaluation Tool, ¿ok? It has a known website also. Y ustedes pueden, aplicando esta tool, la vamos a aplicar de vuelta, pueden ver que automáticamente se lanza un análisis del website y empieza a tirarles información sobre lo que puede estar mal. ¿Qué es lo importante de esto? Que, por ejemplo, cuando, en el caso de los errores, ven que pueden cliquear, you can click over the tag and it's going to take you right there. Silio? Sí.
Gabe, are you gonna touch base on the widget or is that?
On which widget?
There's something else that I've seen that these people look at is to see if it has a widget that gives accessibility to folks. Is that part of it? Where you
No, it's not part of this, but we can do it in the next one, part 2.
But is that one of the things that needs to be there in order to be?
It could be. The problem is that nowadays, because this is related also with AI, okay? So, because now, in order to make AI work, you can basically generate your website as a component, basically a different component coming from different angles and sources. Then your website is more like a puzzle than a real content or generated one centered page, right? So because of that, it's more or less the thing that Leo has or tells. There is a responsibility from this other side that is providing you content that you don't control. It's basically a widget or a component that is coming from other parties, and you can enforce them to do something that you don't control, or they are offering you as a service. For example, a lot of things that are being used in websites is the weather, okay? You embed the weather, and the weather is going to pop up there at the top of your website showing how it's going to be sunnier.
The thing about those widgets is like a screen. They have options that they can provide people with accessibility that change the fonts to make them bigger.
Oh, no, yeah. Now I understand your question.
A lot of government sites.
See, basically increase the size of the font and do, we are not attacking that way because why they are looking the area on that case or on the majority of these cases. So basically, when you are building your site nowadays, you need to have one consistent. Remember the consistency thingy? You need to make it all your titles H4 or H1. You cannot be jumping all around because you like it one font, you want to use that font, and then flip it up to a different one when you are talking about, I don't know, your contact form, okay? You need to be consistent. Otherwise, you are going to be facing the same problem once over again, because when this guy run the analysis and someone else with a bad intention to find out something bad, he's going to run comparisons about how you are using those tags in there.
And the reason why I mentioned the widget, because some consultants, they say they're going to fix your website. Be careful, because all they do is they say they're going to install this component that I mentioned, and they say they fix your website. And
no, there is, and I mean, I will tell you this. Again, you have this tool now. Okay, let me show you another one. Okay, so we can take a look on something. Accessibility checker. Okay, So we are going to go or take ourselves through the browser to accessibilitychecker.org. Okay, we are going there. And here, we are going to type the URL of your website. Please don't try the Solano County or the Solano Chamber of Commerce or something like this. Try your own, okay? So let's say we are going to see the let me see if I can. Okay, so now it's running, and this tool is one of the most used, but sadly, the first run is free. The second run you need to pay, or basically the continuous running of this tool, you need to, it has a price. Well, you didn't see this, so we are going to move on. But no, let's use this as an important factor because it wasn't showing the other one, and this is how you need to be really running these scans or this analysis through several tools, okay? Because not only one is going to tell you the truth. And even they say that they are going to detect between 30 and 40% of the fails or the errors that your website could have potentially, okay? So you can see here, critical issues, 60. The good part of this is this tool is going to tell, like the other, like Wave, is going to tell you how or where you need to correct it. It's telling you, okay? So you can grab this information, and if you are working, Jerry, with a consultant, okay, that provide you with this site that has 50% of error, you can grab that list, put it in an Excel, send it into an email, and tell the guy, hey, return my money because you have been scamming me. No. So, no sé si español necesitamos. We're good? Spanish? No? Okay, continue entonces. Sorry, I forget. Where were you? ¿Dónde estabas? You were making questions about the widget and so on.
You guys that are bilingual always forget. Those of us that are whatever, one language, we don't forget.
I'm in the intersection between not knowing English at all, forgetting Spanish, and I will start talking by science. So, yeah. Anyways, you can grab this information. Ustedes pueden agarrar esta información, compartirla con el consultant, hablando en serio.
Es Chamber Master.
¿Cómo?
Chamber Master. It's
ese es el consultant.
It's a chamber
It's a
website
database.
for a lot of chambers. So it's a
Oh,
It's a full CRM.
full CRM.
it could be a class suit.
Oh yeah.
No, it's a good one. Okay, now, ya, pueden decirle, es más, si el sitio de Solano está teniendo este problema, y estos frameworks, estas plataformas, these SaaS, basically they are reusing the same code.
Yeah.
So this error is going to basically replicate itself across the world. Okay, so that was accessibility checker. There are some more that are more complicated to the story. Let me see if I can show it to you. Solano HC.
Something I want to add to, Gabe, is that's the thing. Like, where can you get a checker that is more legit? Because each of these checkers, they're trying to sell you their own services, and so each one is going to have their own parameters how they check. So that's the other thing you got to look at.
Yeah,
from
totally.
From that perspective.
Totally right. I mean, that's why I was telling you guys, don't stay with only one, because you could be basically shooting yourself in the foot. So grab a bunch, obtain different sources, obtain different analysis and scans, merge them all together, and from there, grab that analysis and provide it to your consultant, your service provider, your MSP, and they will need to take or can address the situation. One more, is basically at the level of programming is the, let me see if I can activate it here. See, this is basically the developer tools in Chrome is used by programmers, HTML and web programmers. And Here at this level, I installed Access DevTools. And basically, when you run Axe, let me move this here. Yeah, I want to accept, and my role is being the developer. Okay, and we are going to start using this, and I will run. There are a bunch of options, as you can see. You can do a full scan, you can do a partial scan for certain components on the web page, and so on. But if you want to run a full scan, let's see how many. Ooh.
We are failing.
I don't, because you can erase that part of the recording. Okay, move on. So we don't see, we don't hear, we don't tell. Anyways, but let's go to a funny part of this, okay? So you can see three different sets of information. Auto show.
He has a question.
Oh, perdón.
No, ¿quién la construyó? Porque estoy viendo que ¿quién mezcló la CSS adentro de HTML? No mantuvieron las páginas separadas.
No sé, hay que hacer un análisis. Well, we can provide all that information to you guys, but you can say you found it, Leo, and then sí. No, AutoShow. Así que y creo que it's good to basically analyze. It's like everything else, okay? I mean, the problem is like with security, which is the extent that you want to cover. Okay, there are so many holes that you can open around there. There are so many liabilities that you need to find out exactly which are your priorities. If my website is collecting money, I will not be paying attention to this. I will be paying attention to not collect personal information in my payment gateway, because that's one of the biggest errors that you could make. Okay, and the same is with this. Okay, if you have the time and money, it's like, and I'm referring to the other side of the story, the people that is trying to harm you. They will try to find every corner possible. They will not stop when we are stopping. They will continue rolling. And that's why you need to create strategies. That was part of the next topic, to basically give a closure to this, and where you are prepping yourself not only to fix the problem, but to proactively in the future be able to control it, to be able not to come back to this and continue putting money in the bank of your consultant, because you need that money to continue rolling with your business. Okay, so anyways, those were the case of studies, and I think let me show you something interesting if I can.
I can share something real quick.
Go ahead.
One of the clients I was working with, I got to see the study that the person doing the lawsuit did, and in this case, they were complaining that they couldn't order from the website. First of all, there was no order on the website. There was no order button. What they did is there was a link to Yelp, and they claiming they couldn't order, and it was outside of the website. It was on Yelp, and still, because this person didn't respond on time, they were responsible for
the lawsuit.
So if they would have responded to that, say it was Yelp, not me.
It could be. It's still. I hear problems with people using third-party platforms and still having issues
Yeah,
with that.
yeah, of course.
So I have a question. I have a client who's asked me to throw together a website. That's what my email or text to me was today. And we have GoDaddy as their domain host.
Mm-hmm.
So with GoDaddy, if we build it with their AI stuff, what are the odds that it will be ADA compliant, or do I still need to be?
Well, no, review it, because so GoDaddy nowadays use a lot of AI to generate the website. They are basically cracking your website in a snapshot, but they are using AI to do it. So you need to review it no matter what. Yeah. The question, Tina's question, era que si están utilizando GoDaddy, si necesitan todavía correr o si pueden asumir que está todo bien, la idea es que no. GoDaddy, lo que mencionaba es que está utilizando AI para hacer el rendering de su website, inclusive de applications ahora. Y así que tienen que correr este tipo de tools para asegurarse. Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay, let me show you something that we do. Okay. So because you cannot be all the time looking around your website, taking a look. I'm on time or okay, cool. So because you guys cannot be all the time taking a look on your website, how it's looking, how it's compliance, which are even the holes in security, we have workflows, automations that basically we run against given customers. Basically, this is, I cannot run it even right now. Yeah. Everything in live when you are showcasing things, they are not doing it. Anyways, I will show you the end result here because I'm not going to die with this. Yeah, let me show you the end result. So basically, the end result is that this system, or basically that automation, is creating this report on a daily basis, basically on a periodic basis. It can be daily, it can be weekly, it can be monthly, but you can create a ADI compliance or security report. And basically this automation is talking through, in this case, a modeler, the ChatGPT, and one in Claude, and is extracting the information through them and analyzing the whole website. And it's taking only, I think for this website, this is the last run today. See, it's telling you even which are all the assets. And the same information, you can forward it to the people that administer your platform, to your consultant, to your web developer, even to yourself if you are the one controlling the prompting for the byte coding platform. And that will help you because even if you are using byte coding, you can copy paste this and tell the AI, fix all this problem for me. And it's going to do it. But yeah, that is really correct. You need to double check it again because there are a bunch of, probably you will run through a couple of iterations before the AI understand, but once it understood what you were meant to do, it's going to remember. That's the problem. Don't tell my wife about that. So, but this is that type of report. And basically once you have this type of information, you can share it around. And in essence, this is what I have to share with you because, and let me ask you one more question. What was the acronym that we were using today for the WCAG? Four. Okay. And what was four meaning for each one of the letters? No, I know that. No. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's good. And operable. That was the yeah. Pretty good. Okay, so while we are doing this, we generate certain roadmap. It's not only focused on ADA, it's more focused on the security part, but this is an exercise that we are doing to run discoveries on certain applications and systems and whatever you need. And then after we found the remediations, we create a plan that basically generate these automations so you don't have to worry about them until the next year or so, or until these people find out. These people are using the same tools as us. That's the problem. And they have more power even. And they have more power because of what? What they have in their hands. No, they have time. We don't have time. We need to dedicate our time for business. Anyways, so I think Q&A, we're covered. Yeah.
So for the websites, I know like on the bottom of the websites, you're supposed to be putting
like the privacy note, no, what is it called? It's called the privacy policy, and there's also accessibility statement.
Sí.
Yeah, so on the accessibility statement, because that's something that we have. So we know that was like part of the compliance, but I didn't know how to walk through the accessibility of statement that every single website has to have.
You need to generate, you need to have it, even your terms
Is
of
that
service.
also like part of
Yeah.
all this, right?
Yeah, you need to have it no matter what. I will put it, even if you want to put 4 sentences, because the first thing that the people is going to look if you have one.
Yeah.
If you have one, because even worse, we have an e-commerce built 1 year ago, and the first thing that they received was a complaint because the shipment wasn't arriving on the time that they were told they should arrive. So yeah, so but the guy was so unlucky, and this is another thing that you need to do when you put your privacy or your terms or conditions. Put it with a timestamp. Put it with a timestamp, and whenever you update it, put the creation update and then the timestamp where you updated that. Because of what? These guys are going to come after you and say, I bought you this 2 years ago, and you didn't send me that stuff on time. And you will come back and say, no, according to the conditions that I sold you that stuff in February 2023, we were covered. Now we probably not, but in that moment we were covered. So goodbye. So that's why you need to timestamp it, so you don't run the risk. ¿Entendieron la pregunta? So básicamente la recomendación acá es tener tu página de privacy, de terms, de condiciones de pago, condiciones de envío, condiciones de etcétera, tenerlas en el sitio web y que estén accesibles todo el tiempo. Y cuando ustedes las crean, que le pongan una fecha de creación. Y cuando ustedes las actualizan, que le pongan una fecha de actualización. ¿Por qué? Porque pueden esas condiciones cambiar over time, porque cambiaron inclusive sus proveedores de shipping. Entonces, capaz que tengo mejores condiciones de envío hoy, pero no las tenía en el pasado. Entonces, yo me tengo que cubrir que este loco va a venir, this person va a venir y me va a querer embromar por el lado de que yo no le envié la cuestión. Pero era de ese momento. Okay. Any other question? Good. Okay. So, Leo, I saw you were trying to ask me something. No? Cool. Okay, guys. So, this is the information for my contact. You can scan this. It's going to take you to my Calendly. For the members, we have a free 30-minute consultation. And thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Yes, so thank you, everyone. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's right. Thank you to our presenters. Anthony gave really good information, a lot of information, but the good thing is they are very accessible. So reach out to them or reach out to us, connect with them. Just some upcoming events tomorrow. We have our